many of you guys know, the coverage that I've done for the FAU Owls has been going on now for a few years. I started off covering the football team, commentated multiple games my first season. I did that unpaid, just did it as a volunteer, and I was very happy, very enthusiastic to be able to have those opportunities and to cover the Owls, cover the school that I go to. I posted on Instagram today some pictures from the Final Four, and something I said in the uh, in the tag was that I never expected to be here. I'm a business major. I'm somebody who has zero, very little experience prior to coming into this in the recording realm. Zero experience broadcasting. Does not feel like I'm supposed to be here. I got along with some people who knew some people. Next thing you know, I'm commentating games for the FAU football team, which eventually led to the basketball team, the baseball team, and then a lot of coverage for me has revolved around both the women's and the men's basketball team. Of course, I work directly with the women's basketball team and commentate all their games on Conference USA TV. And I've been on ESPN Plus a couple times for both the men's and the women's. Again, a dream that 10-year-old Jacob never really thought could have been possible. Something that I never really even dreamt of because it was just that unrealistic. There was no reason for me to have hope for that. And then again, I meet the right people, I talk to the right people, and next thing you know, I am live in New York City, commentating the Sweet 16. They win. I'm live in New York City, paid for by the school, essentially. Paid for by the school to commentate the Sweet 16, commentate the Elite Eight. They win both games, and we go off to Houston. And now I'll just talk about my time in Houston a little bit. I already talked about New York, and I'm sure I'll mention it a few more times throughout this, but I really want to focus on my time in Houston. So we get there Thursday night, and we were supposed to go to some little event that would have been really good for getting connections and stuff. A little too late for that. Had I believe, a little delay going up there, so that didn't end up happening. But we get there, we all hang out. There's what, 6, 7 of us, and we just hang out, have a good time. The next day, we go to the mall, expecting to meet some of the players. Not me, because not to flex, but I've met players, talked to multiple players throughout the season. I think I've talked to just about everybody on the team now, and expecting them to be at an event at the Adidas store in Houston. That didn't end up happening, but the first day and a half, we just did what we wanted to do. Went to the mall, went to the All-Star game, the Reese's Senior All-Star game. We went to go get our credentials, which was across the street from the stadium at the NRG Center. And we're like, screw it, why don't we go inside? We didn't even know there was an All-Star game going on, but we go inside, watch the Reese's Senior All-Star game. And that was fun, just to, just get in there and do it, look around, find everything, find where the media center is, find where we're supposed to be. Accidentally walked into the locker room, but it was fun. It was nice. It was the calm before the storm, I guess you could say. That Thursday getting there and that entire Friday, and the nerves were definitely slowly building. Now, I've been very fortunate. I don't have as much issue with nerves going into broadcasts. Now, going to ESPN games is a little different, being televised a little bit, and by televised a little bit, I mean me being on TV for a little bit. Other than that, I've gotten really good at keeping those nerves to a minimum, and I don't have too much of a struggle with nerves. However, going into that game, going into the Final Four game, the nerves were there, and they weren't because of, me broadcasting, which unfortunately we didn't get to do live. If you're listening now on my YouTube channel, some of you maybe even listened in as I commentated the games in New York City, the Elite Eight, the Sweet 16. Maybe you guys tuning in were able to watch and listen to my broadcast. Unfortunately, due to NCAA rules, technically we weren't even supposed to be doing that. Technically, we weren't even allowed to do that. So we got away with that. We got lucky with that. But then somebody hit us up like, hey, you can't do that. And we're like, darn, okay. So I did it offline. I did offline broadcast, and something that will come in a little bit later in the discussion. So we get to the stadium. We get to the stadium Saturday really early. The game was 5 o'clock local time. We probably got to the stadium, give or take 1 o'clock, and everybody's ready. Everybody is just ready, nervous, energetic. It's impossible to define in one word all of the emotions we felt walking to that stadium on Saturday. Walking in there, knowing what was at stake, knowing how realistic a possibility it was to be going to the final. We had just beaten the 3 seed, we just beaten the 4 seed in our own bracket to win our side of the bracket. I believe it was the South Regional, East Regional, one of the two. I think it was the East Regional. we just beat higher seeds to get along there. And San Diego State's coming off a 1 point win, a little bit of a controversial win against Creighton. So going into it, we felt about as good as we possibly could have as a team that had never won a single tournament game in its school's history, and then walking into the Final Four. We felt about as good as talking about us, talking about me, Luke, Lucas, Liz, uh, MJ, Nick, everybody that we were with, both Nicks, everybody that we were with. I think I just mentioned everybody. Everybody that was there, we felt just about as confident, just about as good as you possibly can. We walk into the stadium, everything gets set up. First thing I did before we did any sort of action was went and found my seat, and fortunately, incredibly, I'm right there. I'm the first row, tucked in the corner, across from FAU's bench, but there on the floor, could lean forward and touch the floor if I wanted to, set my bag down, and overwhelmed with excitement, especially getting that spot. But of course, more so just the moment in general of being there at the Final Four, being there live in person. We then go outside and we get a bunch of fan interactions, which was really cool for me because I had never really done much camera work. I haven't done much interactions with fans, and getting to do both of that at the same time, walking up to fans. Some of you guys have saw on my Instagram, Nick Tarak, his reaction. It was awesome. It was electric. Talked to some San Diego State fans, some Miami fans, some UConn fans. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. It was surreal. It was so incredible trying to take it in. And then we go back inside, finish everything up. MJ uploads the footage we got outside on the TV Instagram page. And then building starts to fill up. People start to show up. We were mostly in the media room. I had coffee for the first time that I liked. It's incredible. I hate coffee, but I enjoyed that cup of coffee. Everybody enjoyed the coffee, so I was like, screw it, I'm tired. I was up till 5 in the morning. Hope was on the phone, MJ and I talking about life, talking about free will. Does it exist? I mean, just incredible conversations. Uh, up till 5 in the morning, the day before the game. Not the most responsible thing, but I had to have coffee. I was so tired. And then once I took that sip of coffee, I was ready to go. Go back out to the floor. Crowds, the students are there. Go meet up with some friends. Go meet up with Gavin. Go meet up with Nick, and then the celebrities, the people of note, start to follow in, and that is Dick Vitale. That is Candace Parker. We walk in, we see they're doing the live show where they've got Ernie, they've got Chuck, they've got Kenny, they've got all those guys out there. We see Bill Walton, see a bunch of celebrities start literally just walking with him, walking past them, not as if I'm supposed to belong, but I do in a way belong. Interacting, didn't really interact with any of them. Tried to get a picture with Dick Vitale, and he taking pictures with other people, and just didn't end up happening. But very excited to see him and not interact, but intermingle with all these people that I've watched grow up. I've grown up with and been major parts of the sports world. I'm there. I'm just witnessing them do their jobs, and I'm like 15 seats down from the main CBS crew of Jim Nance, of Hill, of whoever else was there. I'm 15 seats down from them, give or take, and I'm getting ready to commentate. So the time rolls off, and what feels like forever. I'm sitting there. I got my stream ready to go. Everything's ready to go. The players come out and warm up, and it's fantastic. And flash forward to the national anthem. They have 4 kids go out there, one from each. When I say kids, college kids from each school: UConn, Miami, San Diego State, FAU. Of course, they all go out there and sing the national anthem. Now, I'm relatively patriotic. I like the country that has definite flaws, but I'm very much somebody who's of the people. I love the people, and I like to consider myself a man of the people, whatever that means. So I like to sing along with the national anthem, and I enjoy everybody else singing along, not necessarily as an act of patriotism, but just an act of unity, that everybody here is probably different in so many countless ways. And here we are to enjoy what we love, enjoy the moment, and singing that national anthem, sitting there listening to the national anthem. Even now, just sitting here recollecting, it brought me to tears. Sitting there again, not because of patriotism, not because of any politician or anything like that. Just and honestly, it wasn't even necessarily the unity. The moment. I very much like to enjoy the moments. I like to live in the moment as much as I can, and I often struggle to do so, especially with the breakneck speed that life has been going at recently. It's very hard for me to sit back and enjoy the moments, but for the minute and a half to 2 minutes that the national anthem went on, it got to me, and it's honestly getting to me a little now. The volume of the situation, the effect that I could potentially be having on the college basketball landscape. Nothing incredible. I'm doing an offline broadcast. Nobody's going to be listening in live, but just to know that I'm there. I'm living out a dream that I didn't think I was going to have. I'm a business major who's getting ready to graduate. I wouldn't be here. Something of note. I would not have even been here had I not skipped a semester during COVID. I took the obviously went into the first semester with COVID. There's like half the semester left. School shut down. Everything got moved to online. Next semester, being the fall semester of 2020, I did it, and that was like one of the first times I really struggled in a class. I failed classes, but it was more than just failing. It was genuine struggle, and I realized that I couldn't do online school like that, all class online. So what I did was I took a semester off, the spring semester, just did me, and it's so surreal to think that even really happened. That I just took 6 months off of school and did whatever. I worked, spent time with friends, with Haley, just doing whatever I want. If not for that, none of this happens. I'm right. Me sitting here in this show. I'm not here. I'm not live for you on FAU already on the TuneIn app. I'm not here. I'm probably still recording for my YouTube channel, but none of this happens. And this and so many other thoughts are running through my mind as the national anthem is going on. And I spoke to Luke afterwards. I think somebody else said they got emotional in the moment too. Because how blessed am I? How good is God to how great is God to have put me in this situation where I for free, except for food and whatnot, for free, sent by the school to broadcast the NCAA tournament, FAU in their first Final Four in school history. And there I am. There is Jacob Kelly, courtside, commentating the game. While it be offline, it didn't matter. It didn't matter to me. You could have handed me a little stick and I would have pretended to commentate and just had a ball. And I literally had a ball, bawling my eyes. No, I didn't bawl my eyes out. I don't even know if anything streamed down my face, but I definitely wiped a tear or six from my eyes. And then the game kicks off, and it's a very close game, back and forth. FAU had the lead the majority of the game. FAU led going into halftime. They were up 7, I believe. They got off to a really hot start in the second half, eventually being up by 14 in the second half, and it was torture. It was torture. I never expected to lose, but I didn't expect to win. I don't know if that was better or worse because I didn't know what to expect, but it was the longest 10 minutes game time of my life, and if I'm not mistaken, FAU only scored 7 points or so in the final 10 minutes. But we went from when we were up 14, it felt like there was a lot of stoppages. It felt like there was a lot of TV timeouts. It just felt like the world was coming to a standstill, and I just had to wait. I had Lucas next to me with like 3 minutes left. MJ came in and sat next to me and pretended like we were having a conversation of some importance so he can just sit there and be there. And that's what led to the video that I'm sure all of you have seen by now on House of Highlights, the three of us dying. And again, we'll eventually get to that. But yeah, it was torture. We were sitting there waiting, games going on, another stoppage, waiting. And then we get to the moment. FAU up by 1, called timeout with 10 seconds on the shot clock. They come out with a play, have to call timeout again. Vlad gets taken out for Rosado, and they clearly run a different play, a play that results in Janelle Davis with the ball, driving to the basket and attempting a layup and missing. And the rest is, I guess, as they say, history. I don't fault any individual player. We know Janelle Davis didn't have his greatest game. We know Vlad didn't have his greatest game. There is no blame in my heart. There is no anger in my heart for anybody on that team, for anything that happened. This was the best experience of my life, and I don't blame anybody. I'm not resentful towards anybody. Now, obviously, in the days to come, we all sat around and said, what if this happened, if he did this? Obviously, that's there, and that's just normal conversation. But I have zero disdain in my heart for anything that happened any of the players. But we know Janelle missed the layup. They go down, hit the game-winning shot, and then, like I mentioned earlier, now you guys saw on House of Highlights. Me the comments were saying, went to sleep. Huh. As you saw on my channel, as I posted yesterday, saw the POV from my camera, from my laptop, which I'm recording on right now. I lost all hope. I mean, losing all hope, obviously we lost. I lost my soul. I lost everything, got ripped out of me. My heart got ripped out of me and just stepped on, whatever you want to say. It was hard. It was painful. I sat there for a good minute or two. I got up. I started pacing back and forth. Me, MJ, and Lucas didn't say a word to each other. Sucks. Janelle Davis's family is right behind me. They just watched their son, their brother, go out and miss a layup, and then on the other end, see member of San Diego State hit a game-winning shot. And I can only imagine how difficult that is to see, somebody you love, one of your family members, in that opportunity, miss a layup and then go lose on the other end. Again, I have zero anger or anything towards anybody, especially Janelle, how incredible he's been this year, leading scorer on the team. Guys have bad games. It is not his fault that we lost. It just stinks. So they go make the game-winning shot. We sit there they sit down. MJ got up. Lucas sat there for a while. We just look at each other. Just look at each other, shake our heads, and just swallow it. There's nothing you can do. Just it simmers. It's in the air. Turn around, you look at the FAU fans. Every single one of them had verbatim the same exact facial expression on their face. But there's nothing you can do. You want to do something. You want to go out and fight. You want to do something to change the course of history. And as a fan, as the clock has already hit 0, there is nothing you can do. It is as hopeless as I felt in my entire life. And I say that in a fortunate nature because I haven't had a lot of moments like that. We've all had hard moments. We've all had moments we felt hopeless, and that's natural. But being there live in that moment, seeing it, I said the entire day leading up to it, just not a buzzer beater. That day, even that day, I said, only thing I want is just not a buzzer beater. I can accept losing by 25. I'll take it on the chin, walk out of there, be upset, but except we had a great season. You lose on a buzzer beater. Dude was, what, less than a quarter of an inch from stepping out of bounds. I mean, how much closer do you get to that? And then lets it. Tip your cap to him making the shot. That's an incredible shot. That's something you grew up your entire life playing sports, hoping you get an opportunity to do, and you hope you get opportunity and you come through and you nail it. But that is just how it goes. That's how life is. That you don't always get what you want. We go meet up in the back again, all 7 of us, and we just sat there. We just sat there, silence. Me, Liz, MJ, Lucas, Luke, Cam, Nick, like we all just sat there because, again, just that feeling of hopelessness that the season is over. One of the greatest times of my life is over. My time, personally, my time broadcasting for the FAU basketball team, at least as a student, is over. We'll see what the future holds. God's got me this far and got me some great opportunities, so I only can expect the same from here on out, whether that's broadcasting or whether that's my last game I'll ever commentate. Something's going to be out there for me, and I'm very grateful and looking forward to the opportunities that are presented to me. But I know at the very least, without a doubt, unless I fail my classes and I fail the next semester, this is the last opportunity I'll have to commentate the Final Four for FAU as a student. It was hard. Watching Dusty, watching Elijah and Nick in the press conference afterwards made us feel a little bit better because the love we've had for all of them, all those guys, and the times they've brought to us are memories and moments that I will never forget. I'm so grateful for the people that I've done it with. I'm so grateful to have done it with such a awesome group of people that I've mentioned throughout this episode, throughout this podcast here, that I got to experience it with some of my closest friends here at FAU, and we all had the time of our lives, albeit it ending in sadness. Going up to New York was, I'd say, the greatest weekend of my life. I'd say it was an opportunity that, again, never expected to happen, but it was just perfect perfect group of people, perfect weather, perfect situation, and then perfect results. It was perfect. And then Houston, while it wasn't the same in terms of result, and it was not as glamorous as New York City. The hotel stunk. It was small. It was three of us in one bed. It wasn't ideal, certainly, but it was the time of my life. These last couple weeks, it feels weird being here on a Thursday. I haven't done my show in 2 or 3 weeks, at least. What was I doing 3 Thursdays ago? I feel like I didn't do my show, but I think I should have at the very least. I don't remember if I did or did. I know last 2 Thursdays I didn't, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. It was an experience I'll never forget. I'm so grateful for FAU. I'm thankful to God. I'm thankful to all my friends, and very excited for what comes forward. But yeah, that was my experience in New York. Experience in I already spoke about my experience in New York. That was my experience in Houston. It did not end how I would have liked to, but to see the Owls get all the way to the Final Four, to commentate at the Final Four, to walk amongst Jim Nance, Grant Hill, Candace Parker, Dickie V, all these legends, all these incredible personalities of the game that I grew up watching, experience that I will truly, truly never forget.